Guess who? It's me again. Part 3 of bullying at the Oakland Community College Royal Oak Southfield English Department. December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. Referring to Pearl Harbor, respectfully. I'll show different pictures of myself. That's my snare when I think you have no idea how to take a good picture. Or I think things are going to go bad with the picture. Oops, wrong picture. That's also me. Alright, so. This is so dull. I wish I could just get on with my life. Oakland Community College, you owe me money. I'm not going to stop talking about your school until you pay me for the damages you have caused in my life. So here's a taste of the support in the letter dated November 10th, 2008, signed by teachers who should know better before it was written by academic clown bully teacher C, who is protected by the union and the college and the local branch of the union. Here are the ideas which got me in trouble. Here are my words. I actually sound pretty good, so I'll read a couple of them. Students are suffering because of lack of preparation. Well, that is absolutely true. When a high school gives a student a diploma and says you're an A and B student, they believe it. They don't read the news. They don't know anything about grade inflation. They just simply believe it. Then that student gets to college, and the reality check is painful. They suffer. All right. I would say things like those poor students, and this would drive teachers crazy, absolutely crazy. Oh my God, some more crap from this. I would love to arrive at a department understanding of what professional means. Especially in terms of voicing disagreements over program issues. Why not apply Comp 2 guidelines in this regard? In order to address difference which existed among members, talking about program issues should always be okay on behalf of students, but addressing individuals personally in the form of ad hominem attacks, such as this letter, should not. Frankly, I think there has been a real problem separating fair criticism from unwarranted charges of personal attacks. I should be able to say, this textbook doesn't serve well. I want to use another without being accused of insulting the person who uses the textbook. I really think the public should be aware of the kind of practices that are going on in this corner of union-protected higher education. I think this is an example of the worst abuses of teachers' unions, and the public really needs to understand. They deserve the opportunity. All right, so this is really good. I wrote an article that wasn't published. I'd love to have it published about reading and the reading crisis. And in the beginning, I start out in the introduction, writers like Jim Harrison from Michigan, and I just, look at the thematic here, I just reread his 2008 release, The English Major, and I want to tell him all over again, like I did at Michigan State a few summers ago. I simply gushed. The line was long, so I just cut right to the chase. I hear Louis the Bird singing, and I told him I loved him. And then his assistant ushered me away. Anyways, writers like Jim Harrison, Joseph Epstein, and Willa Cather have long known the damage English teachers can inflict on potential readers. And what these writers knew is that English teachers have a way of encouraging students not to read. And so the last thing a writer wants is non-readers. And so writers and English teachers are at odds. I said, I can't think of a worst indictment of my profession. teachers turning students off to learning. But guess what? That's my right to say. And I think that's absolutely true. I think Oprah Winfrey has done more for reading than the whole group of English teachers in this country. I got to go to the end now. All right, so in the end, the last piece of evidence that Mr. Online Shakespeare, Bully C, wants to use to smear my name, bully me, and control the schedule to better control his bottom line. At the end of that same unpublished article, which included personal narration, I say, I've got an attitude and lots of stories. There's a post-it note on my desk at home, somewhere in the pile, reminding me to kick off the semester with Pink Floyd's The Wall. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control, no dark sarcasm in the classrooms. Teachers! Bully teachers C, A, and B. Leave them kids alone. All right, so as it turns out, bully teacher B, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused by my own system. Bully teacher A is such an entire schmuck. What a piece of work. This guy complained that I was a physical danger, and yet he's into some sort of Eastern martial arts. He's much taller than I am, and he's just a freaking jerk. So he's written a book called Garbage About Rock and Its Meaning by OCC Bully Teacher A. And it's really incredibly horrible. And I think the problem is he's just jealous because my book may be a little less horrible. I have to read the ending of this book. I actually hadn't read it until last night. And to my delight, it's far worse than I even imagined. Bully Teacher A used to make his poor students buy and read this book as an example of writing in Comp 2, which is a total freaking travesty. Here's the last paragraph. It's too fun. I have to do it. To wake the neighbors is what Garbage About Rock is for. In order to do this, a group must perform loud music that is challenging to mainstream conceptions of subjectivity. Through challenging capitalist notions of success with the use of nostalgic traits, Garbage About Rock has successfully awakened the neighbors in its attempt to assert this difference within postmodern society. Whether they, unclear pronoun reference, will succeed in defining a new subjectivity is yet to be determined, but through their insistence on a break into nostalgic subjectivity, they have woken up the surrounding members of society and thoroughly disturbed the neighbors. This success is based on this disturbance and will continue as long as the neighbors, parenthetical, mainstream society, are challenged in their notions of subjectivity, a word used like 12 times in this last paragraph. Contemporary Garbage About Rock has played an immense role. Immense? What, like his cock? An immense role within postmodern society. An immense role, baby. And its influence has dominated the underground of Detroit and elsewhere. With the appearance of Garbage About Rock in postmodern times, our society would be left without such an extreme challenge to mainstream capitalist desires. A nostalgic sentimentality of subjectivity would not be available as a basis for constructed individualism. Oh my crap hole. Oh my crap hole. Oh my crap hole. It's far more worse than I thought. I didn't get to the end of the book, of course. I only read the first page and I knew it was horrible. All right, so what else do I have here? So let us now turn our attention to Bully Teacher C. No, I've screwed up my own system. Bully Teacher B, who not only signed the November 2008 letter before it was written, she also coerced one student to be the one student to make a claim against me, not in the spring of 2012, but months and months later, in November in 2012, bully teacher B coerced one student out of the thousands of students I have taught to make claims upon which I was pulled out of the classroom like a criminal, because now the school supposedly had a name they could throw out there. One person who claimed I was physically dangerous. But there's a problem. This student had probably just read the syllabus to find out that I had the right to drop her for being absent 2 weeks in a row in classroom-based composition 2. She was behind in her coursework, and I think she decided to get me before I got her. Now, she was a nice woman. She received a lot of time from the group. She made many presentations about her self-chosen research topic, which was, get this, fighting authorities in schools and trying to get teachers fired. Ironically, another student's topic was about makeup, and I swear to God, I was going to talk to the student who was studying makeup and say, we need to do an intervention. This student had the worst Hitler mustache I have ever seen since Hitler. One student out of thousands with a Hitler mustache who was behind in her coursework, who I had the right to drop, is named as the only person named to me as someone saying I was a physical danger. Because of these false claims, I've had to go to 2 medical hack shrinks, and much worse damage has been inflicted upon me, including the loss of my income. And yet, here is what I told this student. Here's the email. I'll read it. I've been thinking about you, student. I'm going to call her Ann Hitler. I've been thinking about you, Ann Hitler, and I wanted to check in. It's amazing how 1 week away can feel like longer. It's amazing how much can happen in a half a month. I want to apologize for letting my frustration show in class this week. I certainly was frustrated by this point in the damage in my life, thanks to William McQueen. But I apologized. I found out that she was totally off track and ignoring the syllabus, and she was in danger of not being able to complete the course because she was ignoring the syllabus and not doing the coursework at all, which she had hidden by her 2 weeks in a row of absence. I'm sorry. I was surprised to see you lagging, frankly. I didn't think I had to worry about you, but I was wrong. It seems you are having difficulty with the course design. I had flipped the classroom. I had said, you're going to do work in the classroom in front of the teacher in this computer classroom, researching in front of me so I can help you research on the internet where research takes place, and then you're going to go home and do the stuff like listen to boring lecture. Phyllis was old school. She didn't want to follow the plan, so she decided to change the plan. Are you more clear now about the course design? Do you have any homework to share with me? I hope your son's shoulder, was that it, has healed, and that you are on course with your coursework. I am now wondering if maybe you are sometimes overrun by your own wonderful mind, and with an abundance of competing good ideas and, of course, limited time. Please let me know how you are doing. It's not too late to start emailing me your English 1520 coursework for feedback as requested. I hope you do. Please know that the research reports you wrote can likely be converted into the third paper, the final argument. Remember, have fun with the homework, which is designed as pre-writing and preparation. Recall, I am asking you to stretch in new ways as a writer. Phyllis is not her name, Ann Hitler is her name, and she wanted to write reports, but Comp 2 is a class in argument where you have to write arguments, and it's just a switch, which I can help students with in class if they follow the design and try. Remember, have fun with your coursework. It's designed as preparation. I'm asking you to stretch. Read the essay sequence directions, but first complete the homework sequence this week. First a preparation. The preparation was research for the papers, and now you're ready to write. I squeeze in extra pre-writing that way. And finally, on to the essays. I can't wait to see what you come up with, but I need to see more coursework, more regularly, following the course design, going forward. Please understand, you can definitely do it. Smiley face, best wishes, GMF. Please understand, I was never crazy. I was never dangerous. I am not a monster. I was actually a good teacher. This is my favorite picture of me. No, it's not recent. It was taken in the early 90s. I do love the polka dot. Not overdone, but I do love the polka dot. And I would really like this witch hunt to end. Please check out my YouTube and Facebook diary. The damages go beyond the loss of my job. And I simply would like a fair settlement, and then I will stop saying OCC, but I will not stop talking about the need to put students first, because I really do think old school ways do damage, including encouraging students not to read by giving them A's and B's and diplomas in high school for not reading, which is something that happens too often at community college as well. Please encourage OCC, oh, look at, that's interesting, to, they've been following me all along. That's interesting. Please encourage them to demand greater integrity, give me a fair buyout, and to force the resignation of teachers who teach academic integrity without trying to practice it. I wonder if OCC is behind this. I just got to check. All right, so I'm going to go to Google. Oakland Community College. I go there often. Oakland Community College. I've never seen that before. Here they are. Okay, let's just make sure we know who we're talking about. Please, please contact the Chancellor, Tim Meyer, demand greater integrity, ask him how much he is paying this law firm to crush me, and please ask him to demand greater integrity from teachers. Thank you. And I need some cash.